unbelievable amount of fake images and videos being spread, not only on social media, but also by legitimate news outlets. I even made the mistake myself here on Rising on Friday when I stated I was impressed with Zelensky getting into full military gear to fight on the front lines. Turns out that was an image from last April. I fell for it. I apologize. Bild, a political news outlet in Germany, shared a video of what looked to be a horrific bombing by the Russians in Kiev. The footage was from a 2015 chemical explosion in Tianjin, China. Newsmax used a photo of a crying older woman standing in front of her devastated home with the caption, "The current devastation in Ukraine." But the photo was from 2015. An Italian news broadcast used footage from the video game War Thunder when talking about the war in Ukraine. No doubt viewers seeing a rain of missiles were horrified. Unbelievable amount of fake images and videos being spread, not only on social media, but also by legitimate news outlets. I even made the mistake myself here on Rising on Friday when I stated I was impressed with Zelensky getting into full military gear to fight on the front lines. Turns out that was an image from last April. I fell for it. I apologize. Bild, a political news outlet in Germany, shared a video of what looked to be a horrific bombing by the Russians in Kiev. The footage was from a 2015 chemical explosion in Tianjin, China. Newsmax used a photo of a crying older woman standing in front of her devastated home with the caption, "The current devastation in Ukraine." But the photo was from 2015. An Italian news broadcast used footage from the video game War Thunder when talking about the war in Ukraine. No doubt viewers seeing a rain of missiles were horrified.
Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakakodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. Blessings and salutations be to the elect. Those in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. It's the Akia Mahalaya coming back with another lesson. Real quick, titled Don't Believe the Hype, the Propaganda. As you know, the news, or the American news media, okay, which is ran by Amalek, the J, or the black hats, or the big nose people, as we call them, have been covering this situation about the Ukraine and Russia conflict, basically making Russia the big bad boogeyman of the Eastern Bloc, so to speak. But a lot of it is propaganda. A lot of it is, them playing both sides of the fence, trying to deceive the population into submitting to that one world government. This is what it's ultimately all about, because they've been doing this since Sandy Hook, the Columbine, 9/11, as we know what happened in New York. And I'm going to say it that way because we know how sensitive this devil is when it comes to bringing out factual information. But a lot of these things are predicted. A lot of these things they put right in front of your face, and they carry them out on the left-hand side, because you have to understand that Esau deals with the left-hand priesthood, okay? He have his global cabal in the form of his Jesuits that, run Hollywood, they run the Vatican, they run the governments. They're basically witches and warlocks, the modern-day Chaldeans. And they come up with this think tank to pretty much manipulate world affairs, man. Same thing with the Russian and Ukrainian conflict, which Ukraine is nothing more but a part of Russia. Okay, at least they was until 1991. And basically the whole Russian commode for going down to Ukraine was to just make sure they didn't have allies or interests in joining NATO. Because Russia understood that if the Ukraine joined NATO, that was a way that they can infiltrate Russia and China's borders. Because if they was to neutralize China and Russia, America can take over the world as being a dominant superpower, even though it is a superpower. But if they got Russia and China under control, then it was no stopping the West. Okay, but Russia vowed to not let that happen, even though both sides are set up by the elites, okay, fighting two separate fronts, because all wars are bankers' wars. But ultimately, they don't want Ukraine to have the best interest of NATO, okay, because they know that the West is behind it, all right? And the fact that America is driving their allies into global conflict, okay, due to this economic collapse that we're currently undergoing, that's a possibility that America's allies can turn on them, okay, and cause them to shoot missiles. Because they see what you're doing, Esau, man, all right? And this is really the Lord playing both sides, man, through the left hand, all right, which is Bible prophecy. But overall, all those bombings and shit like that you're seeing in the news, talking about, these are the Russian forces doing this and that. And in fact, those are Ukrainians, okay? Those are American-led militias, okay, which they were calling them Nazis. Also, not ISIS or anything like that, but they have they own set up rebel groups that's going in there infiltrating as Russians, okay? But nonetheless, they're Nazis, man, okay? And we understand the whole thing about Nazi Germany, Stalin and all. Well, not Stalin, that was doing the Stalin's execution squads. That was, I believe, on the Russian aspect. But nonetheless, what do you call it? Slovakia, man. Thinking too quick. But Nazi Germany, okay? Hitler, the West, the JOOs, the Black Hats, as we call them. The West always had something to do with these particular attacks, man. All right, so what you're seeing in the news is actually Ukrainians on Ukrainians, but you can't tell because they're both the same damn devils. Okay, you can't tell the difference between an American devil, a German devil, and a Russian devil or Ukrainian devil because they're all Edomites. All right, so that's how stupid it is. And you people in the news, you're buying it up, you're sending your money over there, supporting Red Cross, Red Shield, okay, Red Cross, whatever you want to call it. They say that the Babylonians raised $11 million in aid to send over there to the Ukrainians, when in fact, you Jakes over here, the Esau's never done anything to uplift you at all. Okay, because when it comes to so-called giving you reparations, then everybody seems to, everybody minds, everybody go blank. Reparations, what you mean reparations? But yet they're giving the Black Hats, I think 6 million annually or 6 billion annually. They sent 13 and plus billion over there to Ukraine, but yet you Negroes are still in the dark. Okay, you still the first fired, last hired. You still don't get the opportunities that other nations get. You go to the worst schools. You live in the worst neighborhoods. You get the most healthy loans or healthy interest rates. Okay, they mark up interest rates on you like no other. Versus other nations can get 2-3% on a new vehicle. They starting you off at 15-20%. But yeah, you talking about supporting Ukraine when it's nothing but propaganda. And we're not saying that it isn't no type of skirmishes over there, but from what Esau is reporting, just know that his media does not report the truth. Okay, and that's what this video is depicting. Even if this little clip that this guy, whoever he is, I don't know who the hell this guy is. But anyway, regardless of what he posted, even if what he posted was some concocted information and they put together a bunch of clips and it was propaganda in that, regardless, it's nothing but propaganda that you're seeing in the news. This man always dealt with that. The same thing with the 9/11 bombings. And you brothers will know what I'm alluding to. They showed you that on back of the dollar bills. They showed you in The Simpsons. They showed you in movies. They showed you all across the board. In 1997, an episode of The Simpsons came out when basically it was a picture of the towers on the building. And then I believe that represents the 1. And then I believe it was like a 9 or something like that. Bart was doing some crazy shit. But nonetheless, it was already propagated. And then they took place because this is their left-hand sorcery. All right. So anyway, a couple of precepts here. This is the book of Psalms 52. And I'm going to start at verses. Thy tongue devises mischiefs like a sharp razor working deceitfully, man. Right. Because that's part of this man's deception. Part of his weapon. Okay. One of his main parts of his weapon, besides being blessed with the gun, was his sorcery and his deception. Okay. Because in order for you to use a gun, I mean, you have the power. You have the military backing you, but a lot of it's through deceit, okay? Especially when you own the businesses, when you own the banks, you own the media companies. You can push whatever narrative you allow to give yourself an advantage. And the people are just going to buy it up because you Americans, you don't do no research for real. We listen to everything a red man in a suit tells you, all because in your mindset, he's the one on high, but he's getting ready to be brought down because the Spirit of the Lord is really against Esau, you see? So they're playing with your emotions. They're playing off your emotions because they know how emotional you Babylonians is. Oh, we got to help Ukraine. But here, you getting ready to pay $5 in the summertime for gas. All right. You got certain states paying over $7 for gas, $6, $5. And it's going up. Inflation. They're getting ready to increase another 10%. So you sitting up here worried about Ukraine, but you can't even get your own society together. You see, and it says, and thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness, because this is all a lie. All right. Like the Russians, they're blaming America. Everybody's really blaming America. People are coming out. They're seeing the madness for what it is. Everybody in the world is seeing the deception behind this devil in the West outside of you people in the West. All right. You people over here in the West, you don't see it for real. Not yet. Some of you do, but the most of you are still blind to the facts. All right. But the rest of the world see it. Okay. NATO is seeing it, even though they're backing this devil. The Russians seeing it. The Germans are seeing it. The Arabs are seeing it. Okay. China is seeing it. That's why Saudi, China, Iran, Russia, all these guys are getting ready to have a partnership against this place. Because everybody is seeing that America is pushing the narrative, man. But that's prophecy, because the Most High is setting this whore up to be destroyed. He's setting it up so the other nations can shoot missiles on here, man. Like the elder brother Malcolm did a video titled that those arrows are going to fly sooner than we thought, man. This war can go global and nuclear. The minute that this man decided to pass this charagma, once this system collapses, that's when we can really get into the nuclear war. Right now, it's just rumors of war. But overall, the stage is being set so that can happen. So all the hatred, all the tension is coming to light of these other nations. So when that finally does happen, there's no building up. The buildup will already be there by the time the MOTB is passed. And at that time, tensions are going to be so high, and it's going to be a free fall, you know, and that's going to usher in the coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai, man, to get the elect, because it's going to get bad real quick. Okay, like I said, 2022, the year to turn up, it's been turned up. And hey, we ain't even halfway through the year yet. Okay, so if this year's turned up, Lord's will, this be the last year. But hey, if we make it another year, then hey, just imagine what 2023 gonna be like. You know, 2024, which I don't see us going beyond that. But you know, this is the Lord's plan. So, however He has it. But it says, "Thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness." It says, "Thou lovest all the valiant words of thou deceitful tongue," and that's through your news media. You know, you're blaming the narrative on other people. You got people really thinking that Ukraine is the good guys, when the fact is Ukrainians on Ukrainians. Because you had a split in their government. You had half the government or half the people that was being backed by Poland, you know, under NATO. And they wanted to pretty much go and be under the rule of NATO because of whatever bribery or what type of madness America concocted in them. But you had the other half of the Ukrainians that display interest on getting back together with the Russians, with the Russian Federation, with the USSR, which that failed. Okay, the USSR, but overall, they wanted to go back home, because technically Ukraine that's the borders to Russia, because Russia pretty much owns everything. They own the satellites, you know, they feeds, you know, they protect them, and they're just down there protecting the people, so to speak, and making sure that they don't have any type of interest in NATO. Because like I said, the Russians know that if the Ukrainians join NATO, they know that that will be a buildup on the Russian border. Because literally Ukraine is right there. It's practically Russia, you see? And then you got Belarus, which stands for White Russian. And it's just a bunch of games being played, a bunch of false narratives. But the Lord is setting the stage. And it says, "The Most High, or the powers, shall likewise destroy thee forever. He should take thee away and pluck thee out of thy dwelling place, and shall root thee out of the land of living. And the righteous also shall see and fear, and shall laugh at him." And who is the righteous? The hopeful elect, or all the Israelites. All right. So this is the book of Psalm 73, and I'm going to start at verses 6. It says, "Therefore pride compassed them about as a chain. Violence covered them as a garment." Right? Because, hey, they're responsible for the world's problems. Okay. The West, starting Babylon, all the world's problems, they are responsible for. Okay. The famine in Libya. Okay. The food shortages, the bombing, the biological warfare. Russia is making sure they're not having bio warfare facilities in their country, because they found out that America had bio labs out there. Okay, and bio warfare or biological warfare, that's extremely dangerous. Look up what is it called? Not smallpox. I mean, that's a form of biological war. But Operation Sea Spray. You got it was another one I was thinking about. Matter of fact, let me do a Google search. Sometimes my mind, it slips, and sometimes I forget stuff, unfortunately, but it's all through the Spirit. Open up another tab. There we go. Bingo. Biological examples. Smallpox, yep. That's biological war. This guy, they released what? So many hundreds of thousands of mosquitoes, genetically modified mosquitoes. Who in the hell wants to release mosquitoes into the population? That's stupid, man. All right. It says one of the first recorded uses of biological warfare occurred in 1347, when Mongol forces are reported to have capitulated plague and faced the bodies over that was called to the Black Sea port. Okay. Now, Feodosia, Ukraine, at the time, Genonese trade century in Crimea Peninsula. Biological in America is behind a lot of this stuff. Yep, but America, they have a lot to do with this, man. It says biological warfare and pandemics in the Middle East. Who's responsible? Esau. Operation Sea Spray. And the list goes on, man. There's no end to this devil's wickedness. But anyway, it says here, their eyes stand out with fatness. It says they have more than a heart can wish, and they are corrupt, and they speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily, like they ain't like, we ain't gonna never be taken down, you know. And that's in the scriptures. They don't really believe they're gonna be taken down because the Most High has a lying spirit on them. It says they are corrupt, and they speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily, and they set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Right? Because for one thing, they are accusing the true people. Like since Jake has been under their thumb, we've become the demons. We've become thugs, criminals, gangbangers, drug dealers. Well, all these are conditions of our environment that was formulated by them. You see, they the one that came up with the concept of putting Jake in ghettos and putting drugs in our neighborhoods. The whole dealing of the Contras. Okay, the whole crack pandemic. Esau was behind that. Jake just utilized it because what else was they going to do? But yet you want to call Jake a bunch of druggies and alcoholics when you provided the shit for them to get killed on, man, to get hooked on. So who's really responsible? It's you. And it says they set their mouth against the heavens, right? Because they speak wickedly concerning the truth and the Most High. Because they don't believe in the Most High. They believe they are the Most High. And their tongue walketh through the earth, right? Spreading the propaganda, the CIA, you know, going over there to disrupt, to topple regimes, dictatorships, you know, starting wars. You know, they have the operative, the MI6 agents, the CIA agents over there spying on different countries, you know, bringing back classified information to infiltrate. And before you know it, a full-fledged war break out, you know. It says, therefore, this people return hither, and waters are full of cup are wrung unto them. All right. Get another precept real quick. This is the book of Psalms 58. And I'm going to start at verses 2. Because yea, in their heart ye work wickedness. Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. Okay? Right. Because like I said, they've been in war continually. You see, right now they're at war. They're in different countries. They want to set up military bases in all these different countries to spy on them. All right. To dictate who has a fly zone. Or we set up a no-fly zone over here. You can't do X, Y, and Z. And if you set up a no-fly zone in Ukraine, then, the Russians just going to flat out attack you because technically that's the province of the Russians, not you. You don't have a right to set up a no-fly zone. That's not your territory. But yet you get mad when the chariots violate your quote-unquote airspace in America, which this place belong to God anyway. But then you feel some type of way. You see, the double standard is real with these devils. But it says the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born and speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent, and they are like the deaf adder that stop at their ear, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely, okay? So yeah, man, you can't trust this devil. It's all propaganda and lies at the end of the day, but the Most High is going to stir these nations up, and they will fight this third world war. So anyway, with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. And with that, Shalom and the Baba.
I even made the mistake myself here on Rising on Friday when I stated I was impressed with Zelensky getting into full military gear to fight on the front lines. Turns out that was an image from last April. I fell for it. I apologize. Bild, a political news outlet in Germany, shared a video of what looked to be a horrific bombing by the Russians in Kiev. The footage was from a 2015 chemical explosion in Tianjin, China. Newsmax used a photo of a crying older woman standing in front of her devastated home with the caption, "The current devastation in Ukraine." But the photo was from 2015. An Italian news broadcast used footage from the video game War Thunder when talking about the war in Ukraine. No doubt viewers seeing a rain of missiles were horrified.